Wow, I can't believe I'm making 3 videos straight. Record and stop. Okay, so this topic has really got me thinking about it, and I haven't thought it very deeply through, but I'm pretty sure you guys kind of understand what I'm gonna talk about. So, in America, the lowest of the service workforce have tips. Now, everywhere in America, you have to tip. Where there's a barber, where there's a service, hotel. I don't know in a full extent how much tips there, in what ratio it works, and tips like that. And I believe some part of countries in Europe have a percentage of tips as well. And these tips, I know in the Europe is like a sort of like a mandatory. You have to, because or I think it's Canada's one of them as well. Like they say that like 20% of what what you've purchased is you have to add on top on tips. In Australia, we're not big on tips, right? But the tips is how you deliver the service and how you serve the delivery, right? And it's up to the individual with the price tag to give you that money, right? So it's sort of like me saying, well done, you have a pocket money, right? So you have that notion, all right? And I'm not saying good or bad, but what I like about tips is the fact that it's driven individual to outperform themselves, to sell themselves, to able to get the extra dollar, right? So that's what I like about it. Unlike in the workforce what we have, and I'm pretty sure around the world is the same thing, but like those who you outperform yourself or do something above and beyond when you're during for your work probation. Now, work probation can be varies from 3 months to a year. I don't know, and obviously you don't call in sick or you don't do X, Y, and Z. But once you have the contract, you sign your name in vain. Boom. That's when the work performance gone down, because you're secure. They can't sack you. And this sort of behavior has gone a lazy behavior. And people, whether they're chucking sickies left, right, and center, or perhaps the fact that they do the bare minimum of their work because they know that they have to keep the work flow. And when you have like that, it breaks down a burden for many companies out there, because they can't sack them. You can't really give them warning. And because of the poor performance or whatever, it is what it is. Some jobs that may require KPI, and I really like KPI because you got to meet the target. But some of the targets can be impossible to meet. So I would like to say that many those who just want to meet the minimum line of work, and that's a form of a parasite, to be honest, because you're leeching it because in order to keep your job and X, Y, and Z, and it's not performance driven. It's rewarding those who are lazy driven, all right? Or you flick all your work to your co-workers or X, Y, and Z to do majority of your work, or you get to hear that managers just shifting their workload to the people underneath them so they could do the work for the manager or supervisor or X, Y, and Z, like a bit of power trip going on. And I really do hope that this tipping mentality. I know that we have this word of bonuses. Now, bonuses, you do receive it, right? And whether it's a 10,000 per year, and I don't think bonuses is a great way of doing it by yearly. I believe that bonuses would be, I don't know how bonus actually is. Bonus is like one large fee and saying like boom, payment saying like you did really well, I'll give you large, or they do it to you weekly. I believe that this sort of bonuses should be referred as tips, and those should reward those are good workers or hard-working workers. And that's what China is doing for their I only speak on one particular area, which is the industrial, right? The industrial area who can who has the, what is that word? is it manufacture? No, or when they hitting their about like the highest targets or the work performance is really high, then they'll treat them like a holiday package or extra money or get 1 week off from work and spend more time with your family. Because I don't know if you guys know about this, but majority of the Chinese workers, they come from different province because they can't find the work from going from their hometown, so they have to go elsewhere. So usually they go to those who are bigger cities because it's a bigger it's a larger salary. So everyone's just going for the upper of the hierarchy of the workforce system. Let me just check the time. Okay, cool. I've got 20 minutes. Um, so I believe that this sort of notion could promote more of the workers into doing that. And I don't like bonuses because bonuses is still going to get taxed, right? So even if you do get the, I don't know, let's just say 10,000, you're still going to get taxed anyway. So I think the best way to promote workers to work even harder, not like backstabbing or flicking work, is to work in that performance. And it's good. It makes everyone to work even harder. And I'm pretty sure if you work in a certain degree, then everyone gets a holiday. So it's like it's a very good bonus reward for that. But what I see in today's, like many of the companies, is that I see that sort of laziness that gets away, and unfortunately, it's become a norm and acceptable. Do the bare minimal and just flick it to someone else, and then workers below is like working hard and starting to talk about this issue and talking down and giving a bad name, not only just the supervisor who or manager, but you're giving a bad name for the company, and this is where it becomes a high turnover. All right, and the biggest problem with today's world is that employers screening process on new staff is, there's a long hurdles, right? Obviously you have to secure with I have to close my eyes to remember all this. Your resume, cover letter, okay, good. You got a telephone interview, good. Then you have your email. Then you maybe have to do a literacy or numeracy, or maybe some job they have to go through. I don't know what's that word, but I'm pretty sure you guys can correct me down there. Mental well-being check, or another one is a physical check as well. Some job may require CPR, first aid, or working with children checks, or and that's for criminal record. No, sorry, police check. Sorry, that's the correct word. Police check, and X, Y, and Z. And the last one is go through. I would say last one. Sorry, it's not in the right order. And then you have a proper job interview. And after you finish a proper job interview, then you have a second round job interview. Then maybe you have a third round. Then also you have a reference check, right? And after you have all the ticks all the way through, oh, and another one, getting a COVID jab, double or triple dose, or you're able to mandatory to accept the concept of wearing a mask on you. So you have all that. Just to, and when you get the job, you get the job. Then you have like a couple shadow shift, body shift, or X, Y, and Z. And if you do well or you do bad, it's up to the employer. But the problem with right now is because of wages are going up, employers are a lot more selective. Unlike back in the days where wages are cheap, companies will hire anyone as long as they do the job, do their work properly, and everything. That's what it matters. But in today's work, is a different ball game. So that's why I said it's weak. And once they get the job, they start to use the lazy loophole, or deliberately chucking 1 week sickie or holiday leave when the company or when the season is on the highest peak. Then you're letting down, you're giving the over workload on your peer colleague. So that's sort of the atmosphere is like. I hope you guys do understand where is this coming from, because many companies, if it's going through like that, then there's no point of even to nowadays, there's no point of you outperforming than your work colleagues, because what has happened is the notion of laziness, you won't get more work. If you're out competing everyone, then the manager supervisor will flood you more work, but you're getting the same peanuts than the lazy colleague as well. And I don't know if you know about DJI, the drone company, the Chinese company, that they early hire. I don't know what's that show called. It's like robots, they're fighting each other. I don't know. Like this show is so popular. Whoever's the winner of the competition will get hired immediately on the spot to be the enterprise of the DJI. If you're outperforming, you'll be great. But if you're underperforming X, Y, and Z, you're out of the door. And that sort of notion is the way how it goes. And I made a video a long time ago. I don't know what's the video title of it. But in Japan, there was one particular company, and he'll hire all the staff in 1 year and sack them the second year, and just to keep the refreshment within the workplace, and as well weave out all the laziness and everything like that. And I find it very impressive, because it does bring out the ideas and everything, and but it also, it is a high turnover if you think of that way. But you're teaching the new bloods, because you can't teach the old dog a new trick. That's what many of the old dogs have been telling me. But if you keep sacking year by year and hiring year by year, what's your agenda or the pay or the rules or protocol, it has to meet, then workers must adapt to it, or else they'll lose their job. Or either way, they will lose their job. I'm saying they keep their job, and it's just keep the company driving a lot more ahead. But some people may not. Some people take advantage and be lazy about it.